Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/thenerdcore. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello, nerds. You're listening to an episode on the Nerdcore podcast feed. If you're feeling generous, please consider pledging to a tier on our Patreon at patreon.com/thenerdcore. We have tiers as low as $1 per month. Thanks so much, and enjoy the episode.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Nerdcore podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 308, and it is the first review in Kurosawa Film Month Part 2. And as always, it is your nerdy Chicano here, the host of the show, alongside my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda, or Baby Yoda, however you want to talk to him.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited.
Yep. So, for those of you who don't know...
I'm going to do magic hand things.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Brad did win the predictions. So, first of all, he was pretty confused as to how this worked. So, he doesn't remember how last time this worked. I had a whole month to myself. So, he thought
I don't even remember last time. What was last time?
Will Ferrell movies.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how that came to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Brad won the predictions this year, and January is all the month to himself, so he chose to do a second part to the arguably the greatest filmmaker of all time, the master of cinema himself.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking a look at Kurosawa again for this month. Brad, just because this is the first one, we don't know the picks because people haven't listened in a while. Can you inform them about the movies that we're doing this week? I mean, this month?
Well, not all this week. I mean, I watched all of them this week.
Yeah.
Meek. I watched all of them this week, which I by the way, I did watch the free Meek documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch it on Amazon. That was pretty good. So let me find the picture, Stall them, man.
Well, I have done.
I got it. Okay. So we have Throne of Blood this week.
All right, which is the one we're doing today.
Yeah. By the way, can you hear my dog?
No.
Very good. Throne of Blood this week. Next week is one of probably his most well-known noirs, High and Low.
All right.
After that is another samurai epic, and actually in color, Ron.
Hold on. Will this be the first color one we do from him?
I believe so, because we haven't done Dreams. This is the first color one we would do from him.
I was really hoping you were going to choose Dersu Uzula. That's his Russian film.
I was looking at that. Honestly, like, the last choice was most difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was actually looking at that.
Yeah, because that's the one he won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film with. And also,
apparently it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's also his Russian epic.
And so also Kagemusha, which Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas helped fund.
Yep.
I didn't choose that one.
Yep.
So
just like Dreams, what's it called? Lucas, Coppola, and I believe it was Fincher who helped fund that one.
Yeah, because nobody would fund that because it was another samurai epic, but it was like in the 80s. So I think the Kurosawa fame had died down a little bit by then.
Mm-hmm.
So it just got harder to fund his films. Anyways, I didn't choose that one. That'll be for part 3 whenever that comes around.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually. And then for the fourth and final in just the regular podcast is Stray Dogs.
All right, cool. Stray Dog. Yeah.
Which is another noir. If you didn't see what I did there, I did Samurai Noir.
Yeah. And then our Patreon mini for the month is?
And then our Patreon mini for the month, I think, is the oldest film we will get to whatever the fuck that one movie is you keep mentioning I saw when I was 8. Wonderful Sunday.
Nosferatu. Yeah. So Sunday. So we're gonna do that this week, And yeah, man, I'm really, really excited. Obviously, really big fan of Kurosawa, and last time we did this, and I believe it was last year when we did Kurosawa Part 1, or probably 2017, I can't remember. 2018 or 2019, I can't remember. All I know is that I love those movies, but the one that I loved the most was, Drunken Angel. So I wanted to go into his noirs. So we had, Stray Dog, The Bad Sleep Well, and High and Low are his noirs. And I'm glad that we're gonna knock out most of them except for The Bad Sleep Well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I wanted to do. I actually technically wanted to do a full noir month, but it just wasn't enough movies there. Plus, there were there weren't quite enough.
Double Indemnity, Chinatown.
Yeah. There weren't quite enough that piqued my interest.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw in some samurai films to kind of offset it. And so I chose, other than like Rashomon and Yojimbo, some of his more, like some of the more famous ones he's done, Throne of Blood and Ron.
Yeah. So I'm really, really excited, man. I think that this is going to be a really interesting month. And if it's any other filmmaker other than, because Hitchcock will probably get like a lot of months too, because he just has a lot of movies. But Kurosawa is one of them that I really, really want to finish his filmography on here. Like if we can get to it, I want him to be the first one that we finish all of his filmography on this show. And
I mean, I enjoy them.
Yeah,
I have to admit.
Yeah, I love him. I love him, and I've got nothing but high praises to talk about today's movie, Throne of Blood. But just gonna say, put it out there. If I would have won predictions, this month would have been Federico Fellini month. But guess what? I didn't win by 10 points. It's dumb, but I got Star Wars spoiled, so I didn't even get the chance to come back. So it's fine. It's fine. But we'll see what we're going to do next month. But for this month, we will be doing just films from the second part of Akira Kurosawa, his films. So, Brad, we're going to be doing... I
hope everybody enjoys them.
Yeah. The great thing is that the only film we actually have to have a spoiler warning for is Ran.
Ron.
Yeah. Yep. Ran. Yeah, so, let's go ahead and introduce Throne of Blood in here.
Throne of Blood is a 1957 Japanese historical drama film co-written and directed by Kurosawa. I threw in the Great Fear, by the way. The film transposes the plot of William Shakespeare's play Macbeth from medieval Scotland to feudal Japan with stylistic elements drawn from no drama. The film stars Toshiro Mifune and Isuzu Yamada in the lead roles, modeled on the characters Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. As with the play, the film tells the story of a warrior who assassinates his sovereign at the urging of his ambitious wife. Kurosawa was a fan of the play and intended to make his own adaptation for several years, delaying it after learning of Orson Welles' Macbeth in 1948. Among his changes was the ending, which required archers to fire arrows around Mifune. The film was shot around Mount Fuji and Izu Peninsula. Despite the change in setting and language and numerous creative liberties, Throne of Blood often is considered one of the better film adaptations of the play. It won 2 Mainichi Film Awards, including Best Actor for Mifune. And directed by Akira Kurosawa, produced by Sojiro Motoki, Akira Kurosawa, screenplay by Shinobu Hashimoto, Ryuzo Kikushima, Akira Kurosawa, Hideo Oguni, based on Macbeth by William Shakespeare, starring Toshiro Mifune, Isuzu Yamada, Takashi Shimura, music by Masaru Sato, cinematography Asakazu Nakai, edited by Akira Kurosawa, production Toho Studios, distributed by Toho. Release date January 15, 1957, running time a good 110 minutes. That's what I got.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is no absolute surprise that Kurosawa's a fan of Shakespeare. I mean, he's a fan of Fyodor Dostoevsky. He's the one that he modeled a lot of his noirs by. He's done if you watch the Bad Sleep Well, there's a little bit of Hamlet thrown in there. And, Kurosawa does an incredible adaptation of Macbeth in this.
Well, and this is only the one he's adapted from Shakespeare. Ron is also, and we'll get to it
King
later
Lear.
in the week, King Lear.
Yeah.
So, huge fan of Shakespeare. And I think you'll see that, like, even Scorsese, he's taken from these other books that were written and kind of adapting them. I think Scorsese plays a little more closer to the actual subject matter,
Mm-hmm.
but Kurosawa kind of changes it up from an English setting, and then he makes it into an imperial Japanese setting.
Yeah, man. And what's it called? I'm trying to check here, but yeah, it's incredible to me that we trace the word epic back to really the Ten Commandments in 1956 from what's it called? Says You Build a Mill. But to me, honestly, I think Kurosawa really did create the word of the epic, man. You look at this movie, it is 100% in a samurai epic. It is incredible what he's doing in this movie. I mean, those shots in the rain. And Toshiro Mifune is on freaking fire, bro.
I mean, I think this is this is right up there. And we gave such high praise to Rashomon. This is right up there for me. Maybe even a little better. I personally, this is probably my favorite from him. I haven't watched Ron yet, though.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll save that for later. But Mifune is just a total beast. Every scene he's in, his facial expressions, to me, he is the greatest actor who's ever lived. Just because he didn't have any of that CGI or none of it. Was just him, his face, and even in the parts where he doesn't say a word, you're just entranced by what he's doing.
Yeah. And, there's what's it called? There's so many pairings that have tested, the history of cinema. We have, of course, Kurosawa Mifune. You have, what's it called? Tarantino and what's it called? Sam Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Scorsese, De Niro. And if you go to Italy, Marcello Mastroianni and Federico Fellini. I'm telling you, there is no other pairing other than that is as epic as Kurosawa and Mifune. I'm telling you, this whole movie, Mifune is acting in circles like crazy. Like he's running circles around everybody. It's not even just the incredible dialogue that Kurosawa writes. It is just those facial expressions, the body language from Mifune.
Just his whole acting ability to me. And it's not just this movie. We've seen it over and over and over again in every movie Kurosawa's directed Mifune in. It is your eyes just get locked onto him. Seven Samurai. You had 7 other really great actors in there, but really great actors in there. But you were always, when Mifune was on the screen, you were locked on.
Yeah,
you were locked on to what he was doing, how he was doing, and that's for this movie too.
Also, love the way that he lights those scenes when they're in the forest and they're talking to the spirit.
Yes,
it's just beautiful
and the way they do the sound, the voice of the spirit, it gets that deepness. I mean, and we saw that in Rashomon. He did the same thing when the not fortune teller but the seer, when she had the spirit in her and was putting, it was the same voice. So. Yeah. I mean, some things you kind of catch if you watched a lot of these. If you haven't seen a lot of Kurosawa films, it'll blow your mind away. But if you've seen a lot, you'll be like, oh, I see he reused that, or this is where that came from when he used it. Yeah. But if you got something good, might as well keep using it, right?
It's also, man, it's just interesting how last month we're not actually done with Tarkovsky month because we still have to do the Mirror for Patreon, but we've been really crazy over here. But we just got done doing arguably the best, movies in color for a shot. And then we moved back to me, honestly, I agree with you, arguably the best cinematography in black and white. Like, it is incredible just seeing, and it's just, I saw those shots in the rain. I'm like, there we go. There it is. That's Kurosawa.
There is always going to be a rain shot.
And it's just beautiful. And just the way he captures those, the horses coming in and just how it looks is just, it's Kurosawa in his element. And I know.
And I got to bring this up because I actually wrote stuff down for a lot of these movies, and I wrote a shit ton. Yeah, I just got to bring this up. You bring up the rain.
Man. I just want to bring up something here. This is bullshit, man. We have done episodes where we had to stop. We had to postpone because you just started the movie 5 minutes before. And here we are, the guy, we haven't even started the month actually. And he already finished all of the movies.
Well, except one. Step one.
Yeah, the one you have to rent. It's bullshit, man. Like what?
I mean, it's Kurosawa. That's basically what it is.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want. You get 1 month to yourself and you start acting out of pocket.
Anyways, going back in my book that I wrote stuff on. You mentioned the rain. That, we always get a rain scene in Kurosawa. That's nothing new. I gotta say, Kurosawa is still the master of opening a movie. That fog that rolls in, and where he starts off showing you movie. He does it. There's no castle there. This is where Spider Web Castle was. And then fog rolls in, and then he cuts to where the castle is still standing.
Yeah.
He goes back in time with that. And I'm just going, fuck, that's been used a couple 100,000 times in Disney movies and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, and there's one thing that I always, I look forward to when I watch the Kurosawa films. It is the opening shot and is the closing shot, because he knows how to open a movie and he damn well knows how to end a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. I'm reading here on the production notes. Originally, Kurosawa planned to only produce the film and hand over the reins to another director. However, Toho, assessing the budget and seeing the film would be costly, insisted Kurosawa directed. How do you think this movie would have played out if it wasn't Kurosawa directing it?
I think it depends on who would have directed it. I don't know. I mean, you had other great Japanese directors, I'm sure, running around during that time.
I bring up one person who I think would have been really interesting to see how he would have directed it. Yasujiro Ozu,
which is the other famous Japanese director of this time frame.
Yeah, which we should probably do a month on.
Yeah, which we should probably do a month on. But my feeling is you're not going to get what you get from Kurosawa. I don't think you get that opening shot where fog rolls in and a castle just appears. I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think you're going to get Mifune to really agree to be on this without Kurosawa.
I don't think so
think you get that great acting.
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have. Forgiven any other director for actually firing at him real arrows other than Kurosawa.
Did you watch? Did you happen? So there's a YouTube video, and it's about a 10 to 15 minute video, and it goes into detail. It's the stunt coordinator or the that department that actually put together the arrows and stuff. So it's old phonograph needles on the end of those arrows.
Yeah, and those hurt.
And those fucking hurt. And he's actually got a little bit of cardboard or something underneath him. And I guess they traced some of the arrows with wire. I don't think they traced all of them, because you watch that. I think they actually were shooting fucking arrows at him.
No, it's right. It's real. Here. What's it called? His archers turn upon him and shooting him with arrows was in fact performed with real arrows.
Yeah. So I don't think you get that kind of acting where Mifune thinks he's gonna die without him actually shooting arrows at him.
I really would have liked to see the conversation after when Kurosawa yells cut. I want to hear the conversation after.
He probably just quit that day. He's like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm going to my trailer.
Yep.
But this just shows why Mifune is, I think, the greatest actor.
Yeah.
Because no other actor is fucking going to do that.
No, I don't think so either. I especially in this day and age, I don't think any actor would even sign up for something like that. Which is, I want to bring up one thing. It's why haven't we seen a lot of adaptations of Shakespeare this time now? We have so many adaptations of Stephen King novels. We have reboots, sequels all over the place, but we haven't really seen an adaptation of Shakespeare in a very long time.
A very long time, and I think that's just for time and age. Is I just don't think people or production companies think you'll get a lot of money out of it. I mean, face it, you probably wouldn't get a big draw to this. I don't think, but I think it's just the time frame. Do I think eventually someone will do a remake? Sure, because they always do remakes, but It's just not going to happen today because I don't think anybody would be interested other than, your big movie fans who like know better to actually go see an adapted Shakespeare play.
Yeah. Yeah. God, man, I love this movie. I'm glad that we started with this one. It's hard for me to want to say that this is my favorite Kurosawa because we are not done with the month yet. But right now, where I stand, this is my favorite movie for Kurosawa. I think this is one that after I finished it, I immediately wanted to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm spoiling you here. So let me go through my notes because I got some more talking.
Yeah, go. Bring them up.
So when they see the evil spirit, I have that the spirit didn't necessarily see the future.
No,
but
I don't
it
think
put
so
the
either.
idea into their head. And then it so happened circumstances started going, and then they continued on making that future. I don't think, which shows you the whole thing about greed and men. Yeah,
I mean that. What's it called? It's brought up with Lady Macbeth. When she's trying to clean off the blood, she's like, I can't get it out. My hands are dirty. There's still the blood is there, and as much as I try to clean it off, it's still there.
So all it took was like an instant of, oh, you'll have like this a massive power. You will be leader. But really, what it leads to is basically no one wants to follow him. No one. Because he didn't earn it. He basically assassinated his leader. And that's what you get at the end of the movie. He's like, you're really going to assassinate me? And like, you assassinated the other one.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
We're not dying for you.
Yeah.
Then I have, so the piles of dead body around the evil spirit. That was foreshadowing for sure.
Oh, yeah, because the spirit tells him to make a mountain of, if you're going to pile the bodies, make it a mountain that reaches the sky.
Oh, that was a great scene with the three spirits that come up. That was amazing.
Yeah, I love that line. If you're going to pile bodies, make sure you make it a mountain that reaches the skies. And I'm like, oh, shit.
And then you even had the Trojan horse scene in this.
Oh, really?
They get into, because they're carrying the dead leader's body, and that's how he gets into the castle, because they weren't letting him in the castle before. So that was basically a Trojan horse scene. Is they let him in to bring in the Great Lord's coffin. So that's what Trojan horse scene, because he wasn't getting in any other way.
Yeah. By the way, the music by Sato, the score,
just drums. Those drums are haunting.
Yeah, and then also just like those. Like it's incredible, dude. Just like it pierces, like it's like the scene will be really calm. You hear that and you're like, oh crap, what the hell's about to happen? Like what's happening here?
I gotta throw out there Asagi, who is his wife. That was some great acting. She basically leads him down the way of his demise.
Yeah,
she basically keeps poking the bear there because, she wants him to keep going, earning this power. Well, not really earning, but taking it. And she basically leads him to his demise because, like, at the end, like, no one considers them a great lord because they killed the other great lord. So,
Yeah.
And then my favorite moment, and one I've posted, which happened on New Year's, is the I'm terribly drunk Mifune moment.
Yeah. By the way, that scene is probably one of my favorites too. Just the way he looks at the ghost, and he's like, his eyes are peeled so far back, and he's like, oh my, like he looks like he's just about to crap himself.
And then more foreshadowing. This movie's just full of foreshadowing with that banquet story at the beginning where he tells him to shut up. That's basically what he'd done throughout the story. Just amazing storytelling by Kurosawa.
Yep.
I don't think it gets much better. And also, I gotta give it to the cinematography, the close-ups, the rain shots, the where you're looking through branches and trees at the actors. I mean, it makes you feel like a spectator.
Yeah.
In basically this man's downfall, and it's great. It's amazing. It's memorable, and I just gotta throw it out there. I think Mifune's still the greatest. He's the master of showing fear in such an exaggerated way without it coming off as too much. And I think that's important because you have a lot of people who can act, but they can exaggerate their acting to the point where you're like, it's kind of fake. It kind of threw me out of the movie. It never happens with Mifune.
No, it never happens with him. I 100% never happens with him.
And the last note I have on here is the ending arrow scene is one of the greatest in cinematic history.
Yeah, 100%. It's just everything. The costumes, the set, the music, the acting from Mifune, the direction from Kurosawa, and the way that that he just comes down those stairs, he falls, and just that last close up where you're seeing his eyes peel back from Mifune, and you're seeing the arrow through the neck. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's 100% in at least top 10 of my favorite endings of my favorite final scenes like that.
Now, had you seen this before, Ro?
I believe I saw clips before because
probably
of
the arrow scene.
Classes and stuff, of course.
Yeah.
But I had never seen this completely. Yeah, and never seen this completely.
I think I might have spoiled you.
Yeah,
a little bit with this
because you're starting me really good right now. You're starting me really good.
So I and like I said, I watched most of the other ones, and out of the first one, I think really the only one that we can say comes close to this is probably Rashomon, and even then, I think Rashomon might fall a little short of this.
Yeah, it's just this one is it's incredible what he can do, man. Like it's just where he's able to take. Not just one aspect of the camera, it's everything. It is just everything about what's happening on that set. He's using it to his ability, and it's incredible what this man can do. I'm telling you, man. There's nobody like him. There's nobody like him there. There's 100% a reason as to why so many of the greatest filmmakers credit him as being the best of the best.
And I just gotta say we had that issue. So this is another samurai epic. We had that issue with Seven Samurai back when we watched.
Yeah, but this movie never fails its pace.
No,
it never stops.
It is the perfect. It is the perfect length.
Yeah.
To me, Seven Samurai. I think we said it before. It could have been edited down, probably to about what this was, and done well. Done a little bit better in my eyes. Yeah. I mean, I can't say much to Kurosawa because. That's his baby.
Yeah, who are we to judge?
Who am I to say?
Yeah,
but this to me right now, from what I've seen and all of the watched of this man, this has to be his best when it comes to pacing, to storytelling, to acting.
Yep, and it's incredible that he did Seven Samurai before this movie. I mean, 54, and then he does this one, which honestly 100% I can tell you I like Throne of Blood way better than Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is an epic. It is his masterpiece, but this is another one of his masterpieces, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I want to just rewatch it again.
Yeah, me too. Even after going through, and I know I still have to watch Ran, whatever we call it.
Yeah.
And Ikiru again.
Yeah.
But I will be coming back to this one. Probably at least once a year, I would say.
For sure, man. Yep. That's the first time I've been able to hear those dogs. Yeah.
She's being pretty loud right now.
But even then, that's really really, really low. Like I can barely even hear it. But it's catching. I probably have my headphones really high up right now. That's probably why. But yeah, I was the first time I could hear those dogs. But yeah, man, I give this one. What else can I do? I'm giving it a full 10. This is it. It's perfect. It's Kurosawa at his best, and I'm pretty sure that's not the last time I'm going to say that this month.
I don't think so. I think the other one you're going to love is Stray Dogs. To me, that's his best noir film that I've seen.
Yep.
You'll get to that, though. But for this one, it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's my favorite samurai epic, with Rashomon probably close to a tie on it.
Yep.
But this is my favorite. I don't think you get much more Kurosawa and Mifune than this. I don't think you get much better than Mifune, other than maybe Seven Samurai, because he goes off on Seven Samurai. Let's put it there.
Yeah, for sure.
But his facial expressions in this, his death scene at the end.
Yeah. I guess I'll bring up just in case you guys are interested. And I'll update this later at the end of the month. But just in case you guys are wondering, my top 5 Kurosawa are Drunken Angel, Dreams, Ikiru, Seven Samurai, and now Throne of Bloods first. Yeah. So if you guys are wondering what my top 5 in Kurosawa are, those are yeah. So I can't wait to see these more.
I'm just glad that you finally gave a 10 out of 10 on something.
To be fair, adjusting scores and everything, there's a lot more 10 out of 10s. Like, what's it called? Like, what's it called? I mean, honestly, I have to give Seven Samurai a 10 because that's his magnum opus. Okay,
it's a foundational Kurosawa movie. Anyone who knows Kurosawa, they know these two films. They know Yojimbo and they know.
Yeah. The only other two that get really close to being a 10 are Ikiru and Dreams for me. But yeah, like, what's it called? Brad's not a fan that I don't give these movies like 10 out of 10s, but what's it called?
No. And I got why I didn't give 10 out of 10 out of 7 Samurai either. I thought that was long. When we first saw it, I kind of got to agree with you. It's kind of a foundational movie to a lot of things. But it didn't play as well as this.
Yeah.
This to me, it's just, it didn't have the right pacing.
Yeah.
And that's for Kurosawa to decide on that one. But this one was it's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect to me. If you're a Kurosawa fan or if you're not, you just like good movies, I say go watch Throne of Blood right now. And you know, as they said on the Golden Globes yesterday, once you get past that 1-inch subtitle box, you're going to find yourself into a whole lot more great movies.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's fucking Bong, man. God, I love Bong Joon-ho. That's another guy we're going to have a month for on this. But in case you guys were wondering, I've got a lot of stuff I got to talk about on here. I'm doing a 75 films from Asia challenge this year. So 75 movies.
You're going to have 5 of them done.
No, well, what's it called? I already have the movies pre-selected. So what's it called? Yeah, these don't count. But yeah, I mean, I guess, they're 80 now. But yeah, what's it called? And one of the directors I'm going to be doing is Bong Joon-ho. So if you guys are wanting to go ahead and check that out, you guys can go to my letterbox. I have a Google Doc with all the movies. We are doing stuff from India, Indonesia, China, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Japan, and the Middle East as well. I have a lot of stuff from Iran and from Lebanon, Israel, and all that cool stuff, man. So you guys can go check that out on Letterboxd. I'm doing 75 films, and there's no time. It's just, by the end of by December 31st at 11:59, if you're not done, then you didn't complete the challenge. That's basically it. Also, a lot of cool stuff coming soon in the next couple of weeks on another show that I'm doing called The Cinema Condition. Brad will be on that show. We're gonna do Ikiru with him, but what's it called? If you guys haven't listened to that show yet, the first debuted episode came out. We discussed Gaspar Noé's Climax with Alex Almeida. Basically, the show is where I take one film with a guest and we just deeply analyze the hell out of that movie. So, for an hour to 2 hours, we just talk about every inch and corner of that movie. Brad, what did you think about the first episode, dude?
I really liked the first episode. You went into a little more, because you had talked about this movie before.
Oh, yeah.
But you went into a little bit more depth. You got a little more time to talk about it. So, and to me, my favorite is listening to you with guests. That's one of my favorite podcasts for some reason, just listening to you to talk to other people than me.
Yeah.
So it was enjoyable. And I can't wait to do my episode because, again, I get to talk about Kurosawa, who's my boo. Kurosawa is my boo. Mifune is my boo. Although Mifune is not in that one, in Ikiru.
Yeah. It sucks because, he's such a good actor, but even then, the guy who's in that one is great. But there are very few times where I'm like, oh, this dude's a horrible actor in a Kurosawa movie. Kurosawa could pick them. And I don't know how he picked them, but he could pick them. Because the one in Ikiru is actually Takashi Shimura. And you'll see him in a lot of his noir movies. He's in Stray Dogs. So you'll see him in a lot of Kurosawa movies as well. I think that's probably his next famous actor in his movies, other than Mifune. And also, and you've never seen Dreams, but the guy in The Last Dream in Dreams is one of his other next big famous ones that he works with, and is honestly one of the best ones as well that he's worked with. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I've got a lot of other stuff I probably got to bring up as well. Why am I saying thank you guys for listening? But yeah, go check out the Cinema Condition, anchor.fm/Cinema Condition. I'm going to do a little bit of shopping it around with people, promoting it on their podcast, hopefully. Just need to get back to Houston to start, actually.
I guess you should bring this up. That is not on the Nerdcore's podcast feed.
It's not.
It's on a separate feed. So you guys got to go looking for it.
Yeah, even though I'm thinking about bringing it to the feed because, this has been up for almost a month already, these episodes. And we haven't been distributed to Apple Podcasts and all the other ones yet. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, guys. Like, Anchor, why are you doing this to me? I love you guys a lot. So, I'll keep you guys updated, but, what's it called? For now, it's on a separate feed. But if this keeps being a persistent problem, looks like I'm bringing it to the feed. But, yeah. Either way, go listen to it. I wanted to work with a different feed. I wanted to see what would be the work with it. I wanted to see what would be the experience with it, if we could play around with that. But, is this going to be a problem? Looks like I got to bring it over. But, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. And obviously, it is January, but I want to thank everybody who helped us in November. You guys were guest producers in December, but, either way, we still love you guys a lot. We got the associate producers. We got Cassie and Sarah. We have new executive producers. We have a new one. Oh, man. Hey, Tony. Our newest executive producer is Mr. Antonio Rosales, my cousin. And you can find him on Twitter at Real Nerdy Dad. I believe that is it, right? What's it called? I want to say it's Real Nerdy Dad. Yeah. Real Nerdy Dad. Just go follow him on Twitter, Real Nerdy Dad. And what's it called? He's an executive producer. And thank you so much for being an executive producer of the podcast, man. Along with people like Grayson Barker, who you can follow at Warlord Hitman 98. Grayson Barker 98. Oh, no, not Warlord Hitman 98 anymore. It's Warlord 1 bar. And then Grayson Barker 98.
He switched it up on us.
Yeah, he switched it up on us. It's just like when Journey was an executive producer, she changed her handle like, every other month. And I was like, girl, I love you, girl, but stop. Like, damn it. I'm trying to remember it. Shane, though, he never changes it on us. So we love him for that. Shane, you can go follow him where, Brad?
At twitch.tv/SWRKK or at SWRKK Twitch. And we are hoping to have him soon on for a review of Uncut Gems.
Oh, man, I got to talk about that. I got to talk about that movie soon. So, Shane, you better get your ass on, man. Because I want to talk about that movie. Wow. Easily.
I believe you were seeing it tonight.
Easily would have been in my top 3 of the year. Last year. Easily. But,
yeah, see?
Yeah.
Told you.
Wow, man. Dude, the Safdies, man. People, you all need to be on the lookout for the Safdies this decade. They are going to take it over, man. I swear. It's like they're both younger Martin Scorsese's, man. Like, it's crazy what these guys can do. But, yeah. I can't wait to do that episode. And we're probably going to do a good old top 10 most anticipated movies for 2020. So, with that being said, it's been a wonderful time. You can go check out the website, nerdcore.com. I'm going to be doing a review of Uncut Gems, so you can go look for that there. I'm also going to be, doing some stuff on the YouTube soon once I get back. We get back to our movie reviews. And so you go check us out on YouTube. Just search up the Nerdcore. We'll be the one with the most videos on, I promise. That's for sure. Also, Nerdcore _ on Twitter, the Nerdcore on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook group, the Nerdversity official Nerdcore groups. Go join us and have a lot of fun because Jarrell loves to post a lot of memes on there. And yes, once I get back to Houston, the feed's gonna look a lot normal. I'm pretty sure this week we can actually do an episode of Gamer Core, so that'll be fun because I've been playing a lot of Jedi Fallen Order, and I want to talk about that game so bad. So, guys, we haven't given up. It's just that it was crazy to do all this stuff. I was super sick, so there was just no way I was going to do it, and then scheduling was a bitch. But, yeah, live show will return next week. But other than that, I think we've got the ground covered. Patreon mini this week will be the mirror review, and then other nonsense if Tony wants to send in a prompt. But with that being said, it's been a wonderful time here. Brad, go ahead and send him into the podcast void.
All right, Ro. Name being host as always. And thank you to all our listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. We love doing this. We've missed doing this. And glad Raul's feeling 100%, close to 100%.
95. I'm still coughing up a lot of phlegm.
Phlegm. 95%, so he's getting there. Again, thank you guys for listening. And I guess to just in this episode, I will say thank you for hearing me start my fanboying for Curacao month. Young Yoda out.